It's 10 o'clock, Thursday, December 19th. This is the City of Manistee Housing Commission monthly meeting. And I'd like to have a call to order and roll call.
Commissioner Pelton,
Here.
Commissioner Walsh, absent, Commissioner Goodman,
Here.
Commissioner Samansky,
Here.
President Foster.
Here. We have any amendments to the agenda? Okay, public comments on agenda related items. Consent agenda, annual regular meeting minutes for November, bills and disbursements for November also.
Make the motion that we approve the annual and regular meeting minutes of November 21st and the bills and distributions for November 24th. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Old business, we have none.
Got enough new business. We don't need old business.
Okay, new business. Public hearing for CMA 5-year 2025-2029 agency plan. The 2025 PHA annual plan. This would be the scattered site.
Yeah. So, Steve, what we have to do is we have to open a public hearing, take comments. If there are any, then we'll close the public hearing and then we'll go to B, which is the approval of the plan. So we're required to have a public hearing.
Okay.
And this was published,
Yes,
right?
published, yes.
So people could read it.
Yeah.
No comments.
No, there was nothing, no feedback.
Does anyone here have any feedback?
No,
Now,
so,
this is
so we have to
like
open,
change to the scattered sites.
Steve, let's open the public hearing.
Okay,
So we need a motion and a second to open a public hearing.
Okay, I move to open the public meeting on the 5-year agency plan.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
It's open.
Public hearing.
Now, do we have any comments? We had no written comments either, right?
Correct.
Okay, and that is for review at the office if anyone wants to look at it afterwards, right?
Plus it was published on the city site, I think, right? Or
No,
where did I see it published?
no, well, we publish that's available to review in the
Oh,
office.
okay.
So we put it in the newsletter and we posted it on all the bulletin boards.
So I'll take a motion to adjourn this part of the meeting.
Close the public hearing.
Hold
I'll
public
make the
hearing.
motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 2024-16, Civil Rights 5-year agency plan.
So this is essentially adopting the plan that we just had the public hearing on.
I make a motion that we accept and adopt the plan that we just had the public hearing on.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 2024-17, the operating budget for the City of Manistee Housing Commission. Has everyone been able to look at that?
It's a fun read.
Well, it make you terribly sad.
No,
And this is just for the 47 scattered sites.
sites.
So,
And we did include verbiage on reviewing RAD options. So if we do decide to convert to RAD, we do have it addressed in the 5-year and annual plans. So it won't be a surprise to any of the public housing residents that there may be a RAD conversion down the road.
So do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion to adopt resolution 2024-17 operating budget, City of Manistee Housing Commission.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 2024-18, allowance for doubtful accounts.
I move to accept the resolution 2024-18 allowance for doubtful accounts.
And that was what, about $6,000?
Yeah, it was 2 residents. And we will continue to pursue collections through the collection agencies.
$6,165.42.
So these are only tenants not in possession. And so then that removes them from our balance sheet. It doesn't, then we don't carry a big accounts receivable on our balance sheet, but
These are
doesn't mean
also for scattered sites.
scattered sites, yeah. And that doesn't mean we don't try to collect.
Do we have a specific collection agency we use? or-
We do.
Okay,
Yep, Great Lakes.
okay, perfect. I have a motion on the floor.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Inclement weather office procedure.
So I don't think any action is required, but I put this is from the personnel manual. And there was some confusion about when the office would close. And it's been kind of the practice that we close when the schools close. And so that's not what our policy says. So we're going to reaffirm that we're going to follow what the city does, which is in our policy, just so a point of clarification for everybody, that the office will never be closed for inclement weather, even if the schools close, unless there's an emergency stated in our.
State of emergency or the emergency practice of.
We will follow the city or state emergency, and the agency will follow the city's policy for keeping offices closed or open. So that's what our policy says. That's what we're gonna follow. We're not gonna follow what the school says. So just,
So if the city closes all their offices.
then
we
we're
would
gonna
be
follow.
closed.
Just, I wanted to make sure everybody was.
Yeah.
We have not closed yet for inclement weather since
No.
I've been here, but we do need to know what
What the
we should be doing. So we did dig out policy and we will follow whatever. If city hall's closed, we'll close.
Practice did not follow policy, so we're just reaffirming that we're gonna follow the policy.
No motion on that.
Nope.
Century Terrace Harbor View physical inspection results. This is, what, the MISTA inspections?
Yes, so we did well. The carbon monoxide detectors were our only fail because they are missing. We do have carbon monoxide detectors in the boiler rooms, but they're not monitored.
Oh.
So I have received a quote, so I'm trying to negotiate with Johnson Control on the price. I do also have a quote from HD Supply to actually install 167. So we have two options. We can either have monitored carbon monoxide detectors in the rooms that have gas powered equipment, which would be the laundry rooms and the boiler rooms.
Those are hardwired.
Those
Okay.
would have to be monitored by
Yeah.
a monitoring
So
company.
they would be
Hardwired.
And this isn't the fire department monitoring. This is another company.
Right, you'd have, which we already have Johnson Control monitoring this building.
Okay.
So it should be, I mean, this building, we should just be able to swap out two devices in the boiler room. Well, in the boiler room, yeah, both rooms, we should just be able to swap out a device. Harbor View is not currently monitored in the laundry rooms, but the boiler room is. So we may have to run wire. So that's why I believe the price is so high, but we're still negotiating that. So the other option would be to actually have a carbon monoxide in every resident unit. So I did receive a price on that and it's from HD Supply for 167. It is $6,962.23. So it's almost half of the quote.
But then we'd have to install.
We'd have to install them all, and they are a 10-year lithium battery. So you would have to eventually replace them as well. With the other devices, it's part of the fire alarm system. So definitely I'd prefer to go with Johnson Control, but I'm trying to negotiate to make that affordable for Century Terrace Harbor View
Well,
to
my
go that route.
question, and it's already been stated in here, but put it in the public, is why wasn't this done when that fire was done to start with?
Some of the protocols changed. So this is new, under this new Inspire inspection protocol that HUD released is now 10-year batteries and carbon monoxide detectors or combinations. So And then the real issue is Johnson Controls is a proprietary system, so we can't touch that system. Only their technicians can touch it. I would not put a proprietary system in today. We would go with a generic system that we could have anybody service, but that's not what we have. So that's why we have to get this price from Johnson Controls.
Since they're here already.
Since they own the technology and the rights, you can't take that liability on. And we don't have the ability to go into the software, number one. There it's protected.
Well, then that begs to ask the question. If they're holding us for ransom because they own the technology, are they also then responsible if something happens and they didn't check?
Well, they do hold liability.
Yeah,
No
I
matter
mean,
what, they'll hold a liability.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
they're negligent in
Yeah.
whatever way, then I think the answer would be
Yeah.
yes. But, yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the benefits of having a company like
Right.
that, is because then they guarantee that the system is functionable and meets code.
Because it's been questionable in the last year or so. We've had some false trips, things like that, haven't we?
Yes.
We've never had a new alarm system that's worked perfectly from,
You're saying put these in every unit
Well, so we have two
where
options.
the gas.
You either have to have the rooms where the gas powered equipment is, so where the boiler, hot water heater and gas dryers are, you either have to have a carbon monoxide detector that's hooked into your monitoring
Yes.
system. Or if you don't do that, the other option is to have, just you can even have any type of battery operated carbon monoxide detector in every single apartment.
My concern with that is people unplug.
Well, but the difference with the carbon monoxide detector is you don't have to worry about people doing it on purpose typically because it's not gonna necessarily go off if you burn the toast.
Right.
Your carbon monoxide detectors are sensitive to a different level, so you don't have the same kind of issues. And it only takes 4 screws or less to put one up. It's not very complicated and let's pull a little plastic strip to activate that.
and I don't believe in this building we have everything's electric, so there's really not a need other than have them in the,
Sounds
You
good.
know, part of me says for spite, I just don't put the little ones in everywhere. But for liability and,
Cut off your nose, cut your face.
right.
Well, and I kind of received that quote so I could use that to negotiate
Exactly.
with Johnson Controls as well, to show I can get this done for half the price, so please work with me on this.
Are
So-
we allowed to say anything?
Not until public comment.
Okay.
So yeah, so I just wanted you to know I'm working on that. We have 60 days from the day of the inspection to have a corrective action plan in place. So I'm getting close to having that in place.
Okay. So, no presentation or discussion, we'll go into reports and communications. Operate, or Mark and Lori, you're up first.
all right, I guess I'll start. So a lot of my time has been spent working on budgets. So you're gonna see later in the agenda that we did develop a budget, and I think the finance committee saw this for CTHV that goes to Commonwealth for approval and then submitted to MISTA for approval. So really, it's not a function of the Housing Commission itself, it's the partnership, but we wanted you to, and everything is good, it cash flows good, it covers our expenses. We moved, and I think we talked about this, the developer fee received to date to Riverside, to protect those assets on the public housing side. So we've talked, I've been working, I have a incomplete draft of a succession plan that we've been talking about for the Housing Commission. And I think the big news or the good news is Baker Tilly is ready to present their recommendations or options for the scattered sites, potential RAD conversion and what those pathways might look like. And I think there's several options. So what we'd like to do, I think we should do 2 things. I think we should have a presentation with 2 commissioners or a Zoom call with them, and I think then I want them to come to a public. But I don't know if we could have a presentation with them here, with our technology here. So maybe our next meeting needs to be at another site where we can use the technology and have them. Zoom in.
For college for a while.
Yeah,
And that pretty good, unless the city, that was the other spot we landed for
Yeah.
a while, so.
Yeah.
Two
I think
options.
West Shore is probably a lot
I
easier
think so.
and better.
would it be okay if we move the January meeting to that site so we can have them Zoom in? Then we can invite, whoever wants to participate in that session.
If you get the site, you gotta
Okay,
get
so
out.
we'll work on that.
Okay, is that it, Mark?
Yep.
Lori?
So our resident commissioner, Kelly Walsh, was approved by the city manager for a temporary leave of absence through this meeting. So she will be joining us at the January meeting. So that'll be good to have a full board again. And then I was contacted by Daryl Slaughter from Spectrum Charter. And he wants us to renew our right to a right of entry service agreement. He wants us to sign a 10-year right of service. So I recall when we did this in Big Rapids, we actually did it along with a bulk agreement where we were able to offer the residents, I believe it was like $35 for their cable services. Apparently that used to be offered here. It's my understanding. Do you remember what the price was? Okay, so
I
I
would say cable and internet.
yes. So there's a couple problems with it. So you have to offer it to 100 to all 167 units, but you cannot force in public housing anyways. I need to see if it's different with PBRA. You could not mandate that a resident pay you for cable and internet services. So they were charging us $18 and we were charging the tenant 35. So that overall we were able to, yeah, so it's okay to charge more than what you're being charged, but you just can't mandate it. So if only half of your tenants wanted it, so the problem lies where you have to turn on and off for the people that don't want it.
It's a burden. It's a burden to do
Why,
that.
why would you turn it on and off? Just not hook it up if you don't want it.
Right, but the prior tenant had it.
So, yeah.
So
you
you have
get
to
into that.
disconnect.
So I'd have to have them agree to have their service, so I would have to have him agree that his service tech would be the one that would monitor this.
Yep.
So it would be a lot, but it would, it's probably not a great chance that we're actually gonna get another bulk agreement going here. But I at least asked him to send it to me. And then, but they do want me to sign a 10-year right of entry.
So why not another bulk agreement?
Well, we had to dismantle it in Big Rapids because there were so many issues with it.
Well, they wouldn't renew the bulk agreement. They said, we won't do these.
Well, it was so expensive.
Yeah.
So like, it would have cost the housing commission money. And that is not a public housing allowable expense to purchase cable. And at the time, you could not do internet for your residents, but nowadays they really want the connectivity with residents. So actually, maybe they would allow it now, but I just need to look into all that.
Them more, really dig into it on them, because Spectrum I've gone to many meetings where they're throwing out things just to get, they want
The business.
They want the business, they're being challenged. So I know that they're doing, work up in the northern part of Manistee County. So they're like throwing all kinds of things at us.
Is there another provider in town? Like,
No.
no,
That-
they,
No.
And they're the best service, right? Like
There's
if
a
you want
couple
good
other-
internet.
TNT has a quasi service, but it's so poor that they're backing out of it. They're not going to, after 2027, they're not gonna be a provider.
But that's good to know when I'm negotiating that there is an option. Maybe I could get a quote from AT&T too.
Well, and
But I'll be bringing
What's your
something back
thought?
at the next meeting.
I would try did, check on did.
so do they must have the franchise agreement in the city then? Is the city franchise
Yeah, I
started?
think
Okay.
so.
Well,
But-
and
we don't need cable TV here. Need broadband, and from broadband, everyone here can stream. And
It's a cost to it too.
Yeah, it
Streams
does.
have a cost.
But you get a little bit more picking and choosing. You don't have to get the $89
Yeah.
package. You can get,
well, and to hear you say that Charter's tripping over themselves, in the middle of the county, in the east part of the county, we have at best 10 megabytes. And it's because of Cal,
Mhm.
and
Their lifetime agreement.
that's not a lifetime agreement.
I know, but we forecast it.
I think this 10-year agreement will give them exclusive rights though, and I don't know.
And that's why I don't wanna sign it.
Well-
because-
Well, and that, they're asking me to sign that. They're asking me to sign a 10-year right of entry exclusive agreement regardless. So I said, give me a proposal on, he hasn't sent me the agreement yet. So I said, send me the agreement and also send me any options. Because if we're gonna do this, I want to make it worthwhile for the residents. Maybe we'll be willing to do it if you're providing bulk rates for our residents. So that's where I'm at. So I'll bring everything back I'll have the agreement and any bulk options at the next meeting.
Is he pushing you for a
But,
time?
and there are,
Yeah. Is he pushing you for a time frame?
No,
Because I'd wait till after the administration.
did we check with our lawyer to see? if
Yeah, well,
that-
I was gonna say, we
I
would
don't
not want to
think
sign that without
I don't
having,
think there's a mandate. I don't think they
having
can
that reviewed.
and pull the service. I think
well, what they wanna
they're
do
the
is they
public
wanna tie it up.
I'm saying that I don't think there's that they can hold you to making that kind of a commitment.
well, in other communities east of here, I know Point Broadband is coming in, they're putting fiber into towns. I don't know if they're gonna come,
Uses in all
Yeah.
the way up to Brother.
I don't know if they're gonna come to Manistee, but I would suspect in 10 years, somebody else is coming into Manistee that will be.
Well, there
competitive.
are already, high-speed internet companies in Manistee, but it's been relegated to businesses and governmental units.
Okay.
But this is a big enough account that it would be considered a business account. And we could get some really cheap rates.
so he's telling me that our systems reflect that Century Terrace Apartments and Harborview Apartments right of entry service agreement has expired. So I did ask him for a copy of that. And we wish to execute new paper. Without current paper in place, we cannot service the property properly in the event of any structural damage to our site infrastructure. This can potentially leave tenants without service for short to long periods and the Housing Commission responsible for all the repairs and costs associated with such an event.
For their problem. We would
Yeah.
have to pay.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to take the business.
That's kind of,
So, but I worked with Charter a lot
Yeah.
Yeah,
on our bulk agreement, so I'll get everything.
yeah, bring that all, and then actually even that agreement would get sent over to Jeff.
I'd be curious, even the city attorney, if they might
Yeah.
have some experience with.
Wonder what
these.
the city.
Anything else for you?
That was the main thing I wanted to share.
Okay, committee reports, finance committee, we did meet with Mark Delory and went over the budgets for this coming year, and I'm quite happy with the way they look.
So it's a balanced budget. That's about all you can really hope for.
Both are in very good shape.
Haven't heard those words since I've been on the board.
Okay, personnel committee, did you meet? Okay. Commissioner reports, we'll start with you, Karen.
Have nothing.
Ginny?
Nothing.
Other than to wish all the guests a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
The only thing I have is that I got an email from Tracy Davis. There is a housing TIF workshop. Wednesday, January 8th at 12 to 1:30 for the light lunch at the West Shore Building. We should have representation.
If I can make it, I'm
I'm
gonna.
registered for it. Vic and I went to the last housing program meeting.
Also, that is something I'm working with Tracy on, how the commission the county commission has opened up the housing committee. So I'm on.
So that's saying that pretty much the whole board's gonna be there.
Well, I registered.
What whole board are you
This,
talking
he's
about?
talking about the commission.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm attending for Habitat for Humanity.
so.
I'm intending for my career.
Okay, any received, that's all I had, any received communications? No,
No, the only thing Steve, I wonder if we shouldn't move the financial reports up to the consent agenda or somewhere different than communications. It seems like an odd place to have it to me, but we can keep it there.
it's like it's duplicate.
We always had ours in the new business.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, was it new business or under
No,
the
it could be-
consent agenda?
It could be.
It was
it
up
was under,
higher.
it was under reports of the
It should
director.
actually be in the consent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so like 3, I'll put it as 3 next time, under bills and disbursements.
No, yeah, I would, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, actually, that would be.
Yep.
okay, you got it.
Okay, vacancy report, Lori.
So it's still decent. It's not as great as it was last month, but we have a lease today, so Lisa's over working on that right now. So 4 at Century Terrace in Harborview. And then scattered sites, we just have the 2, and those should both be rented within the next 2 weeks at public housing. So at last, we'll have 1717
Oh.
filled. And then I know Ginny would like to do an open house on that, so we need to, are we going to do that before the resident moves in?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have to schedule that soon then, because I mean, it's not, we did, Mark and Kevin and I did the punch list for the contractor yesterday, so they still have to go through and make some repairs. The flooring will be done by, January 3rd. So I would say it should be ready to go about January 3rd is when the unit should be ready.
Well, you say January 8th, we could invite all people from the
yeah,
house.
that's what I was just thinking,
Over.
maybe during that time.
We could do it before, I
Yeah.
can't remember what time that,
Should we put a plaque out front? This is a Virginia Pelt.
yeah.
Memorial housing.
Memorial Housing Unit.
Yeah, what a difference from a few months
I
ago.
wish I would have taken pictures when I went in there for my
Oh, I have lots of pictures.
shock and awe and that. Our housing workshop goes from 12 to 1:30, so maybe after that,
Like 2,
2-ish.
yeah, we could just open it up and
Yeah, just say
invite.
open house for an hour, or whatever.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that would be good because there'll be a lot of people around town for that workshop anyway, interested in housing. Is that a plan?
Yeah.
Yes. So just keep in mind, this is one of the units that would be in the demolition, possibly if we do the rad conversion. So the tenants are gonna be very nice and comfortable there, but we did not put as much money into it as we did like the 10th Street homes. So we did, it's nice, but we still did it
Well,
as affordable as possible.
yeah,
Yeah.
the homes themselves. Functional.
Well, I mean, it'll last for the 3 years
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes, and the family that's going in there has 4 children, and she's very excited.
Oh, that's awesome to hear.
Living with friends and family for
Oh,
the
good.
past year, but we did, have a good 4-year landlord reference. So, I think it's gonna be all good.
How long is our 1-bedroom waiting list right now?
Our 1-bedroom wait list for public housing,
Or, no, for CT and HV? Yeah.
oh, for here, for these
For
buildings?
Yeah.
I believe there's about a dozen people on it.
So pretty much we can build this pretty fast then. Huh?
Yes, and we do, so if you are elderly or disabled, you receive a preference for these 2 buildings. So there's probably about 6 people on that wait list that are single people. So they are towards the bottom of the list. So if someone came in and applied today that was elderly or disabled, they would rise above any single applicants.
Veterans in there too?
That's for public housing.
Okay.
No, they're not for here, Commissioner Goodman.
Okay, that sounds good. So we spread the word. We got some places open.
Yeah, everything is assigned. The 4 units are assigned.
Well, they're already assigned.
Yes.
Oh,
So these are assigned and then we also still have 12 people sitting out there.
No, that would be, there's about a
We
dozen
move 4
people on
off
the
the
wait
list.
list and
Okay.
4 of them will be moving.
So we have 6.
And then, but they're not all screened either. So when you're on the wait list, we haven't screened.
and Holly Court was just a normal move out.
Yes, but she'd been there like 6 years and we, had to do pretty much a complete renovation.
Hey, newsletter. Britton's still doing, she's still doing it,
Yes,
right?
she is.
Doing a great job.
She is, yes.
Do you have anything to say about it or?
Let's see, so the office, the residents know will be closed for a few days over the holidays. I hope everyone, even if you're not signed up for the holiday luncheon today, please still attend. We should have plenty. The holiday door decorating contest, so we had council member Liz Lasky and Carmen from the chamber and Detective Kirsten Goodspeed were our judges yesterday. So at the holiday luncheon, we will be presenting the awards and announcing the winners. The resident council meeting went well. The upcoming raffle for the carpet cleaner, that will be on Christmas Day. So the residents need to know that on Christmas Day at the potluck here, they will pull out the raffle ticket, winner for that carpet cleaner. And, yeah, snow removal, actually, it's going well. I think in the past, a lot of times people didn't move, so they would plow around them, but, I do have tags for Kevin, so we are calling people who haven't moved and letting them know that it's, time to go out and move your cars so we can efficiently plow the lots.
Can you do sidewalks too?
So, yes,
They
Yeah.
haven't been done at the time and it wasn't done.
so yeah, I'll make sure the sidewalks are done for sure.
Where do they move their cars to?
So Kevin clears, like he'll clear over by the maintenance shop
Okay, then they go.
and the road, so people park over. So then, once he's done with that, where he gives them an area to park, then people start moving there and on the road, and then he cleans up and then
So
people
they
move.
basically sit-
I've never been out there, but, so I'm not
I
sure
mean, I know it's
exactly
pretty
how they
tight
do it.
around here too.
Yeah,
seems like
it
the
is.
parking is very.
Little old ladies, Kevin's doing all the moving, he's moving them all over, then moving them back.
It's,
Little old ladies-
It's always a challenge. It's always a challenge. Always a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on, you don't make this here.
We've got a sense of pride to us.
Yeah, but I, no. All right.
Are there like, like you can have 2 vehicles if you live here? I mean, is there a,
So we do have a parking policy
okay,
that addresses that.
1 or 2 vehicles?
I think it's adult household members. So if husband and wife have 2 vehicles, then yes, they would, but a single person, would typically just have one unless they're in the transition of selling one, so then we work with them.
But it just seems like it's a lot more cars.
It would have been a lot better if we'd have paved. That
Yes,
would have
yeah.
been in
I
the,
was thinking that as I pulled up.
well, I think that's gotta be in the long range plans, is that gravel area needs to be up.
I thought that's where our new building was going.
That's what we thought.
Yeah, that's where I would like to see the shop and then pave where the shop's
Oh,
at.
yeah, and that's another thing. I think that area can be a parking lot, an overflow parking lot someday too.
Yeah.
But with the current parking permit does not identify who the owner is. So we are in the process of ordering numbered permits. So if there's car number 101, we can look at the list, we'll know who it is. Yeah, so that just happened when Kevin was trying to install the bumper. Up in front, we put new concrete bumpers, and there was one car that didn't move. And we cannot figure out who it was. So he had to skip that spot. So, so we're going to everyone's going to re-register, and then we'll also know if there are vehicles here that do not belong here.
Yes.
So yes, those are, we're working on getting quotes. I received a quote, but it was $2.50 per sticker. So I'm trying to find more affordable.
Why did he come up with a list of the license plate numbers?
So that's all on there. So when you register, it's make, model, color, owner, unit number, and plate number.
Okay, is that it for the newsletter?
Yes.
Now the resident council minutes.
And Gary Six, the president of the resident council, is here. If you want to give him an opportunity to say anything, Steve.
Sure. All I have to actually state is, like Lori mentioned, I think our last meeting went good. We come up with the couple of ideas, I can't remember what they are, and I'm so slow on writing notes for myself, I apologize.
Well, one was, I wanted to mention that the push door. So it was brought up over at Harbor View. Some residents are having a hard time. So like, we had to close the garbage chutes down. And we have totes outside the exit door. So it was brought to our attention that residents would like a push bar on that door. So it's easier to get out. So I'm looking into options.
And plus, if we could put a window in that door, it'd be nice to have a window in this door back here, too, if you could go flying out there and you don't know if you're gonna run into somebody, or if you wanna come in, you don't know, if somebody's gonna be meeting you halfway with the door
That's a
coming
good
on.
And if those are fire exits, you can't put a window in them.
Yeah, I don't,
As a
because-
wheelchair person, can I put just 1 second in? We need it wider. That door doesn't fit these chairs.
It's not a 36-inch door.
But if you have to, yeah, you need to go, this is 29 inches. And so you need something that's gonna put the door when they open, you still got the door part that's there. But it needs to be a little bit wider than,
I'm surprised that that's not a 36-inch door.
And then for the laundry rooms, residents requested pedestals for the washers and dryers.
Oh, I get that.
So
You have to get on the hands and knees.
they are on order.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
they jump into my washer.
no.
so I do have the email back confirming. It says, Dominic, can you please get the pedestals ordered? For this property, they have 7 LG Giant sets and 2 LG Titan sets. And also please let Lori know if there will be any cost associated with this. And then he just said, I will get the pedestals ordered, and he didn't give me any cost. So I'm taking that as they're covering the cost.
Good.
I need to confirm that,
Yeah.
but yeah, so they are on order.
So are you looking into then the door deal with, at Harbor View?
Yes. I'm gonna see if there are any options. There may not be, but I'm gonna see what the options are.
Because if
Panic
that-
bar should be okay.
if that isn't a 36-inch door, it should be, or we should move our garbage to the other side where there is a 36-inch door.
And we do remember too, Harborview residents, that on Fridays and heavy snow days, I'm having Kevin put a tote in the lobby right outside the elevator. Residents can bring their garbage down and put it in that tote so that you don't have to go out that door on on inclement weather days, and every Friday from, I believe, well, early in the morning, I think like 8 o'clock to 2 p.m. There will be a tote near the Harborview maintenance shop right by the elevator for any Harborview residents. You don't want to go out that door with your trash.
Side here, Century Terrace,
Yeah, it was
Or-
double door.
the doors.
We don't have totes here.
Perfect Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you know, instead of walking across the parking lot.
Like. Nope, Jamie. Okay, anything else on the resident council meeting minute?
Well, besides the back door in Harborview, another point that came up about that same back door was the incline. When you go out the door, there's an incline going down toward the parking lot. And there are some residents, I believe, at Harborview that don't feel comfortable trying to go out that door and then slip and fall and nobody be there. They need a more level.
Yeah, and Kevin's
Yeah.
working on, that's one of the spots
We
where
may
he
have to
pushes
relook
snow
at that.
too. So and we did get more snow already, I think, this year than we did all last year. So we're working on, yes, we're working on that. It does need reviewed, so we can come up with there.
Finalize president council, my part on CT, we have
sold quite a few tickets for the steam cleaner. Good, and we actually, again, have over $100 in our budget to work with. So
Fantastic.
I feel like I'm doing a quite good job.
Really good job. Thank you, you've done a wonderful job.
Amazing.
Don't make me blush, come on.
Okay, if that's it then for resident council minutes, now it's time for public comments. I just want to express to everyone that it's a 3-minute comment, people. You will not respond to anything, and I would hope that you keep personal names out of them. Okay, so let's go into public comments. Yep,
I would like to know, Karen, have you gotten any of the letters that were put in our Dropbox? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? I know 10 people personally that have put, because you said, put your name on it, seal it, and put it in the drop thing. And we haven't heard nothing. We want to know if you got them. No,
What Dropbox?
this one here at Century Terrace where you put the rent in. 10 people gave you letters with your name on it.
Yes, typically Cindy picks them up. Sometimes Brent will come over and get it, but if it was addressed to a commissioner, I'll check with Cindy. But if there's any letters addressed, to you, you'll make sure you have them before you leave today.
All right, thank you.
anything else, Beth?
Yeah, we're working with the Friendship Center and the Senior Center. Well, just about, I don't know what is going on, but I was told yesterday at the Friendship Center that they are working with you, Cassandra and Sabrina.
Yeah, I mean, not on this, but yes,
Okay,
mental health,
yeah,
I oversee that stuff.
all right, that'll work. I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else?
Well, Steve, I, I had this to read, and if I read it real fast, I might do it in 3 minutes.
Good.
I would like to take this opportunity to address this board. My name is Margaret Boyd. I'm 83 years old, and I have taken on the responsibility of helping a 69-and-a-half-year-old woman who has been evicted and banned from all your property in Manistee. She has multiple health issues, was at the ER the Monday before Thanksgiving, kept overnight and returned on Wednesday. She has been harassed repeatedly by another resident. She went to the office and you said no names, and I don't know how to do this. Cindy said, we'll talk to her. It got worse. So Carla hit her and called the police on herself. To the best of my knowledge, this other person, lower door, was wanted by the police. How was she able to get into Century Terrace? At a city board meeting Carla attended, Steve told her to write a complaint to Karen Goodman, seal it in an envelope, and put it in the box you do the checks for. She did this twice and never got a response. Did Karen never get them? The first letter you have dated November 14th. I have a copy of it. Lori states the facts demonstrate that it was assault and abuse. Okay. Not the judge didn't say it. I want to know how she can override the judge's order. William Hall got a letter from Lori. Carla has relatives and friends in here. And I only did this once before, and at my age,
You're doing good.
you'll have to bear with me. Did anyone else get a letter besides Willie stating that Carla could not be anywhere near his residence? Or was it just Willie because he knew Carla? You have disabled, handicapped, and mentally challenged people, and possibly drug people in your buildings. Just by the grace of God, none of us have to live under these conditions. I want you to know I've been to the newspaper, the Friendship Center, our senior center, the police department, and contacted the mayor, who didn't bother to call me back after I got names and phone numbers she could talk to. Residents are afraid to go to management for fear of getting an eviction. Is this any way they should have to live? Talk to people, find out what their issues are. And don't forget to check with people at Harbor View. The letter that, oh, and here's the judge's ruling. You wanna see these? And this is a bill that was sent to Kyla. Because of her illness, she didn't receive it in time for 7 days. What I wanna know is that letter that your management sent to Carla, is it going to be rewritten? Or can she still overrule the judge's decision?
Yeah, because the judge gave her less than a misdemeanor. It started as assault and battery, but the judge dropped it down. It's not even a misdemeanor, and she's getting it expunged from her record, hopefully. Yeah, Friendship Center is working on that.
Well, there's a years that you have to go through so many years before you can do an expunsion.
Oh,
So this person's no longer living here.
No, she was evicted. And banned from every piece of property you own.
Due to assault and battery on another individual, another.
Another individual that was living here that was wanted by the police
yep,
with felonies.
she was on the run for like 11 years, and when.
Well, that's,
Time's up.
that's a different issue. The issue would be this person.
Jeannie, what's a different issue, hon? I don't understand.
The person that was on the run is a different issue than this individual.
No, she's the one that Carla hit.
I know, but her history has nothing to do with this particular situation.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I think two
No.
wrongs don't make a right.
No,
No,
But time is up.
okay,
I guess as a commissioner and seeing this for the first time, I would need to do a little bit more homework on this. I can't really respond except for, I think, you know, if it's gone this far, it's probably irreversible, but,
well, if
we'll look
it
into-
doesn't get it, if it doesn't get fixed, Gina, I'm going to take that letter and I'm going to the judge with it.
okay, I understand.
And anybody else that'll listen. It's this isn't right, these evictions of these people.
But
There's more, but I can't talk to you about it in front of all these people. There's another issue that needs to be addressed. If it's true,
If it's true, right?
if it's true.
Okay.
But this is just.
I would hope that you would talk to the commissioner.
I think we'd be all welcome to have you send us the information,
we can do that.
the additional information you're talking about.
We can do that.
Okay,
Can we get the address for the commission meeting? Cause I don't have it,
Where what do you mean?
that we can write to you.
Aren't all our emails published?
You
They're
do
on the-
realize that a
they're-
lot of people
I'll-
don't.
I'll
have
make sure they are.
computers.
But definitely if you get it to the office, if it's addressed to a commissioner, it will go to a
The office, They'll
commissioner.
call us, they'll get it to us.
Obviously, drop it in the box, just.
I think the
Send it
Dropbox,
to the office directly.
yeah,
Deal.
yeah. I mean, we have received other communications.
To the 73 building,
Pardon me?
to the 273 building.
Harbor View?
Yeah, to the office,
Take it to the
to
office.
the office.
Or if it's sealed, give it to one of the maintenance guys to take over there, you know, seal an envelope with the letter in it,
Alright,
so it's private.
I mean, just as a new, I've been here for like, what, 6 months or something, but
Do we have,
as new people, we need to know these addresses and contacts and all that.
That's fine.
I think that can be listed, our
I
name.
think we'll put it in the newsletter.
Yeah.
I mean, rip.
and I hope to God they'll start listening.
well, if we get.
I agree with her on that.
There's more out there that you don't even know.
Okay, well, thank you.
Surprise what I call
Anybody else in the public comment? Willie?
There's at least 5, 10 people walking around with COVID. The office will not do anything. Office been told about it. And then they told back to people out. Well, I'm walking with a mask.
Yeah,
I want to respond, and I guess I will. How do you know that they've been diagnosed with COVID?
He said it,
Yeah. Two I know for sure. Two of them.
said, I have COVID, and they're walking out and getting on the bus, coming down here and eating.
Go to the grocery store, you're
Go to the
probably
grocery
surrounded by
store.
10 people with it.
We
And-
can't get it, we can't, those are, I mean, we all
That's
have the
personal.
right. And if I choose not to acknowledge the COVID and I'm, you know, you can have COVID, you can have it for like a week before you can even know that you have those symptoms. So you are already, before you get to the symptoms, you've been infected 3 days prior to that.
Mhm.
So you don't, they're in places where you don't even know. But we can't control that. We can encourage people to wear
A
masks.
sign up on the door.
You can, it's optional. You can even,
Option.
you go to the hospital and you'll see optional.
Option.
You can't make people do it.
All right, second.
Probably all wish we could make people do
Right.
stuff, but
Second part. I put my rent in December 3rd. It's yet to clear my bank. I'd like to know why.
Didn't we have a snafu with,
Not December.
Yes, it has not cashed my bank yet.
So did you call the office to have Cindy check to see if it's cleared?
I thought, last I heard.
That's what I would recommend.
She had it in her thing, that's about 2 weeks ago. And she was gonna do something, I never heard anything back.
It's, as of today, it still hasn't cleared.
Still hasn't cleared.
When was the last time you checked?
This morning,
Yeah, Cindy can check and make sure it's,
I've never been late on my rent. I always had it on the 3rd. And there's one time they had staff food with your
Yeah.
banking or whatever. Okay, I understand that. But it's like, I like to know, why is it taking so long for my check to clear?
Willie? It's as long as you're not getting done for rent
Yeah.
and it hasn't cleared, it could be your money again.
right, we did send out,
Yeah.
right, to my knowledge, any late rent notices went out. Did you get a late rent notice?
No.
Okay, so that's good that you didn't get a late rent notice.
Yeah, that's the only thing you should be worried about, not whether it clears, but that you're done for it.
I feel my bills.
Other than it's hard to keep up with the balance on your checking account when it doesn't clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to learn how to do that. Yeah.
Anything else?
Cindy and ask her about it. Okay. Thank you.
I would like to find a way that we
Willie
can
still has
involve.
the floor. Willie still has the floor. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
I would like to
Thank
find a
you, guys.
way that we can involve the people in the building and not just have the people that are doing the meetings, not here and, you know, the other commission meetings. It's like they're in control of whether we can vote or not. I mean, you can say something to a person, but if there's only 12 people there and they decide that they're not gonna do anything about what you're asking them to do, then we don't get any rights to, if you're living in the building, we need a way to have a right to be able to say what we need to say.
That's what your resident council is for. That's where you should express any complaints.
Well, we do, but they're the only ones that can vote for the stuff that needs to get done or what we like and what we don't like and stuff like that. If you want people to be comfortable and have an enjoyment in living here, and I've talked to many of them here, they've talked to me about it. That's why I open my mouth, because they don't want to. But they're saying that, you know, it's not right that they don't have a right to be able to vote on things.
Well, this isn't a democracy here. It's a housing commission.
Well-
You have specific rules that you have to follow, and we have specific promises that will give you a safe, quiet enjoyment of an apartment.
let me see if I'm understanding this right. You're talking about when you do have your resident council meetings or certain things that everybody wants to vote on, but only specific people go, and then those votes are pretty, you know, close.
People aren't going because they don't have a right to vote.
Okay.
So the board votes on items.
So the commission is different than what we're talking about. We're talking about all the other items that are kind of overseen by your resident council. And that is kind of being limited. Is that what you're, Am I
I'm
hearing
not
that?
quite sure what you're saying. All I know is that as a person living here, I don't have a right to vote, only the commission of people, and I guess there's like 12 of them. Those people are the ones that get to vote for all the stuff that goes on.
okay, so
And if they decide they don't want to vote for what us as people have told them, then we're not getting the stuff done.
But
And
you
that-
still
and that's
have
where a
the
lot of it
right.
Comes from.
You still have the right to go and register your concern with Lori in the office.
And there are 3 openings on the board for the resident council. If anyone wants to be a part of that voting process. I don't think they rarely don't vote on a whole lot. I can't think of anything at the last couple meetings that was
That's the
pertinent
thing,
that they
is-
voted on, but yes,
should
so
I
what it is
put the-
people in the audience don't vote when something comes up to vote by the whole board. They don't have residents sitting out in the audience vote on it. It's just the board votes. After people give comments.
No, they're voting and then we have to do the comments at the end and that's the problem. Problem is you can't comment on what's being voted on.
Can you give an example of what was voted on?
Well, you guys have your meetings and we're not allowed to say anything until the meeting is done towards the end and it's already been voted on.
So are you talking about our
This
meetings or
commission,
the?
this commission right here, you're talking about us.
So I understand you guys gotta follow with the city and all that stuff. But as far as the people that are living in the building, we need a way that the people in the building can vote.
Well, that's your resident council.
All right,
And-
and if we talk to the council, there's 12 people, and if those 12 people decide they don't wanna vote on something that people have told them, however many live in this building, okay? Then our rights are being kind of voided out.
No, you still have the right to go to the office and talk to the executive director and say, I need this changed.
All right.
Right.
So we can suggest that to people that are saying
Oh,
that they don't have the
certainly.
rights to vote
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I guess I would also look at if we have issues, let's say, we want to paint the place and, you know, the choices are green or red, all right? So people should have, that should be an open vote for everybody to have input in. And then gather that, just like a public hearing, then gather the information and then give it to the resident council for decisions. That way, if we open it up like a public hearing, everybody has a time frame. You get like, if the chair says, I'm gonna give everybody 2 weeks to respond to this issue, everybody can vote, that's their right, and then they bring it back and then they go over the votes and then make the decision. I think that would.
Right, what we did at the VFW meetings is we opened it up at the beginning of a meeting to be able to talk to the people that were in the audience, the people that live here. And then they got to say what they needed to say, and then they went into the old and new and all that. And then that way, at least our information is there in front of them before they vote.
So if I could, it sounds like if they follow the standard comments at the beginning of a meeting, just like ours. So after public comments on agenda related items is before you actually start the meeting is what you're looking for. To having some opportunity to speak on any agenda related item. And then you have an opportunity to comment at the end. So that would be the only suggestion that
And I'll make sure, I think they have that, but if they don't, I'll make sure we do it the next meeting.
and just practice it.
And I'd like to say Gary is doing a good job. Okay. But we've got a lot of new people in here, and if we wanna keep the good people, cause I've lived in a lot of apartment complexes when I was young. We need to listen to what they're telling us, because they're the ones that's gotta live it and stuff, and I do like what she had said about, you know, having a ability to be able to feel like it's home, means, you know, you wanna put a picture of your kids up on the wall. You know, you wanna be able to do a little bit of something, like in my old apartments, I used to use contact paper because I could just pull that off the wall, didn't leave no, you know, spots or anything, you know.
Are you telling me that you can't put a picture on your wall here?
Can't put anything on the walls is what I was told, and we're not allowed to paint. It doesn't feel like home when you can't do that, and that's not just me, I've had
You can't
quite
paint.
a few people that.
Yeah, you can't paint your own colors, but you certainly can hang.
You
stuff.
could certainly hang stuff and they have those great new things that you can, you know, hold up to 60 pounds or whatever you put on it, doesn't
3
damage the
ounce.
wall.
Whole pad thing.
Yeah,
Are the paint's got the, like that?
texture.
Stucco?
Yeah, and I think one of our walls is cement, so if we wanna put something on that wall, maintenance, we can call Lori and them and maintenance will come and hang on that wall. So, I mean, it'd be great to have them stickers, but I tried it.
Sometimes they don't hold.
Yeah, because it's the way the paint is.
It's hard to
You can,
get those on the stucco wall.
there's, the only thing that would happen if you put nails, there could be damages if their holes were too big when you left. We typically wouldn't tell somebody you couldn't hang anything.
Yeah, I've always, it's your home and within reason, you can decorate your home as you'd like.
But even in private rental, you're not gonna get to paint it any color you want and, or change anything physically.
Well, I did in my old apartments in Illinois,
You were lucky that.
You
but
were
I had to
lucky.
make sure that it was the same color when I moved out.
Yeah, I mean, but it's, you know, typically owners don't want you changing their physical property. Just like, you know, we don't want you changing our physical property here, but of course, we're gonna let you put pictures up. And if you need help, we have very nice maintenance people who come and figure it out with you. But, yeah, I mean, and
So maybe
Gary,
we could put it in the newsletters, you know, it's.
Gary, I think you missed, she paid you a compliment, but there was another gentleman in there talking.
I kind of heard part of it.
Okay, yeah, we had a compliment, which is rare in these days, so you take it and run with
I
it.
heard my name and I'm like, what's this?
No, but
I didn't catch your name.
I'm Diana Scott.
Okay.
And Gary has been really good about
Good.
trying to help people and listen to people and stuff, and that's what we need. We need people that are gonna listen and actually absorb what's being told to them. And actually try to work with it and try to get things to go in the right direction.
Well, 3 minutes is expired about 10 minutes ago.
in response, and we appreciate it, and for, since you're new to this, to this buildings, these buildings, I will tell you that in my history of being here, the progress that we have made is amazing from what it was. And we do listen and we are trying and we have what we feel is excellent staff to get stuff done. And, but we have worked hard to turn this properties over to a better place to live.
Well, this is what I was told, and I have seen it just a few months that I've been here. So, you know, you guys should be on your backs for that too, as far as I'm concerned. I've read in the past, I don't have a computer now, but in the past, I've read what has happened over here, and so it, yeah, it sounds, and it, to me, from what I'm seeing, it's a lot better than what it was.
But don't stop
Yeah.
talking to your resident council and our director if you need to, or send us a letter, whatever you need. The reason we're here is to serve you guys and to make this a safe, affordable place to live. That's our mission.
And we need to just change people's minds. on
Well,
things.
you have 100 and some people, I just want to make a comment, 100 and some people that are living in this facility and 100 and some people, you know, have an opinion on how it should be.
Personalities.
So, you know, I want to say Lori and Mark have done an amazing job at requiring people to follow the rules. They have been bent all over the place for the past decade.
Yeah.
And so things have been allowed and things have been overlooked. And people who should have not be here have been allowed in here.
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring it back around so people like you will say, hey, this is a good place to live. And I do feel comfortable. I get a lot of people, you don't think I hear stuff, but I get a lot of people that talk to me. And I don't like hearing when people say they don't feel safe, that they feel as if there's bullies in these buildings that
Yeah.
want their way and will do whatever they want to do in order to, you know, make everybody else's life miserable.
Man,
And that hurts. I don't like to hear that.
you know, my 3 minutes are up, but I used to work in probation, so I get it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
You
I
know
still
that.
think you would be an asset to the resident council board if you want to be nominated to be on the resident council board, Diana.
And do so much, because when I was on the VFW ones, I got like acting down and I had so many things going on.
I keep on.
I love it.
So
Anybody else for public comment? Tammy?
I agree with we're back at Harborview with the back door.
with me being a caregiver, I come and go out of there and that is easier access to get out that back door to do garbage. With that incline, it does get ugly.
Yeah, we will definitely look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a problem when we went over there to eat and stuff. I couldn't get through those two doors the right way. We had to have people hold it. So when we're having like things over there, if they could have somebody watch those doors to hold it for people like myself.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, Tammy?
That was it.
Anybody else for public comment?
The only thing, if I might, just for a second, the only thing I have to throw in with this is whenever I see new residents moving into the building or people that I have not recognized that might have been here for a while, I let them know, look, if you got a problem, I'm the president of the resident council. Come to me, come to a meeting. If you don't want to come to a meeting, write it down, give it to me and I will present it.
Thank you. That's nice.
Thank you.
Don't get very much response on that either, but at least I'm out there pushing. I'm the figurehead. I gotta be the head of both, you know, I don't want to say.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have a welcome committee now too on the resident council.
Oh, nice.
So they're gonna go around
For
town
both
and
buildings?
request like certificates and things to get them out to
Oh, that's good.
businesses and, yeah, so. We're,
Conversation, city map, and you know, this is where we are, this is what we are, this is the town you're in. Enjoy, if you
Excellent
have
idea.
friends, invite them in.
and they're also gonna tour with the residents, like after we do our whole thing. We have a resident each building that they can go to ask questions about, oh, I know they told me what, about the laundry room, but I forgot about this. So we have a person in each building that's on the resident council board that is our welcome committee now.
Great. Thank you. That's great.
I know they've been teaching them how to use the intercoms because I'm the guinea pig.
Okay, well, with that, we'll close public comment and we're moving to a closed session to review our executive director.
Need a motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion that we go into closed session, which includes the commissioners, Mark and Lori.
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
So we're gonna go up to the office, the old office.
Oh, back
Yeah,
there. Okay,
yeah, up,
closed session.
up one story and where we looked at.
The building.
Yeah.
And make sure everyone's here for the luncheon at
Oh, that's.
noon.
See, Jim.
Jim, are you gonna eat with us at noon?
Oh, I've got to run to another meeting.
Oh,
It
darn.
never stops.
Congratulations.
Well, it's good to see you.
It's something I can't make because there's an intergovernment meeting at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I got meetings arranged for in May and it's at the same time, the same day. I said,
It happened.
This is for the office.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
It just happened.
My daughter's at the airport. Her bag was comes over.
Well, we'll be in front of you. in one of these.
Everything her back. She got it, huh? Well, she's getting it. I think she's getting it.
It's a man.
I can imagine you're gonna be happy to have her own.
wait, we're gonna start building homes.
Yeah.
Taking $1 million and then you're inside the ground.
Yeah.
So, Jim was a big life shape.
Yeah, he was.
You have to. That's. Yeah, no. Yes, and save money. Yeah. I'm your. It was funny because I didn't know this was. Yeah, I was disappointed that she's leaving. Yeah. I don't think I could. You know what? Oh, no, because she said.
Did we stop the meeting? Did Mark stop the
No,
meeting?
there was one person that kind of tried to clip his wings, but you know, that's not